Yo, something
Hello,
out.
mate. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad.
So, what an exciting end of 2024 we had, mate, and a really good lot of run up in 2025. But I want to go back and ask the question, everyone who's out there in the computer world and joining us on the TikTok live. Max, I'm going to ask you the question first. What was your favourite fight of 2024?
My favourite.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if I've got a favourite. I think there've been some absolute belters out there this year. But
Last year.
yeah, last year, I mean, sorry. uh, I'm going to put it down to AJ getting his arse handed to him by Dubois.
You think that was the best fight of 2024? I think it was. I think it was
For
the
the
most
heavyweight, for the
fight.
heavyweight division, yeah. Because that was
And yes,
just action for 5 rounds, and AJ got beat up, which I
so I'm
loved.
going to start as well. Dot Strap has sort of put it on me and has laid the smackdown. That's all I can say. He says, "Unfortunately, you were wrong then, Andy. Usyk took the rematch, eh?
Oh,
Bastards."
oh, wait a minute. Was I correct again?
Yeah. Okay, we'll give you the last 6 months.
Yeah.
I mean, the heavyweight division actually went on storm, didn't it, in the last 24 months? It really has. But we're coming to the end of the storm. But where does it go from here? I think for me, the best fight I saw in 2024 is a toss up, really. Bertabiev Bivol was a fantastic fight.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic fight. Um, Daniel Dubois was a surprise. I wouldn't say it was the best fight I saw that year.
No, yeah,
Uh,
it's not my, I don't think it's the best fight, but just for me, I'm going to say it's the best fight because AJ got knocked out.
and if anybody says it was Jake Paul versus Mike
Yeah.
Tyson,
You're getting booted and you're getting a virtual slap because you shouldn't be breathing the same air.
yeah. So but for me, I think it has to be Bertabiev Bivol. I think that was absolutely Kalian Parson McCumbee. That was good. It was a good fight. Jack Scam in terms of drama. AJ versus Dubois. I'll tell you what. I couldn't argue a word really in terms of
Yeah.
drama. The fact that
Especially when Daniel Dubois was doing that little sit down, and Dubois just went, "Listen, you don't scare me." You know what I mean? Let's go now. And AJ's like, Mr.
don't
Cool,
do this,
this is
man.
a
I'll
gangster,
wrap a
you
chair around
know?
your head.
Yeah, and got absolutely
It
battered.
was quite funny that because I talked to both Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren about that, and Frank was in there right in the middle of it, breaking it all up, and Eddie Hearn stepped back, and I said to Eddie, I said, "Did your arsehole fall out?" He went, "No, mate." He said, "I knew AJ could handle himself." I went, "Yeah, we proper." And I thought to myself after that, I went, "You proper got handled, didn't he?"
Yeah.
So, guys, hit me up. Let me know in the comments who did you have as the best fight of 2024 before we move on to 2025. But more importantly, as well, after that. So, thanks for joining us today. But please do let me know which fight it was. But more importantly, how did 2024 end? Let's talk about the Fury Usyk rematch that was completely different fight. Yeah, Ball
Let's,
versus Ford was a good match, wasn't it? I mean,
let's
Nick
get
Ball
back
looked a
on.
miss.
Let's get back onto the Usyk Fury fight. Number two. Um, when Frank Warren got in the ring, or they didn't get in the ring, he just spoke afterwards, said, "Oh yeah, one judge didn't even give Tyson a round for the last 6 rounds." And I thought to myself, yeah, that was a bit harsh because I did have Usyk up by 2 rounds,
Mhm.
but not to give Fury a round, that is ridiculous. Not to give him
I
a
think I
single
think as
round.
well. I think as well. I mean, yeah, Dot Strap, you're perfectly right. Best year in boxing for years. UFC blown out the water this year. Coming from a fan of both, I think Turkey Al Sheikh has proven this year that what is to come in the forthcoming years. I know it's going to cost an absolute fortune, but the man just don't seem to care about money. I think they've got
No.
so much money to sort of give away. He's done a fantastic job because he's been able to put all these fights together. I wonder if we're going to see big moves in 2025. I mean, the estimates and stuff, or the things that I think is going to happen in 2025, is I honestly believe that we're going to see things like the zone start to be bought out by.
Yeah, just a quick question. Do you think he will buy the social media, just so there ain't so many people there from the media, and they have it under one roof, like one firm.
Well, I hope so because he can buy us. Listen, no, I don't. I mean, I don't know if Turkey Al Sheikh sees the value in us. Now, obviously, we've met him. Obviously, we know Frank Warren. We know Eddie Hearn. We've met Ben Shalom. We know Johnny Clark. We know all these people. But for me, I wonder if that's just too much out of the way. It's too little, small potatoes for him. He's gone and bought the Ring magazine, which is a fantastic thing to do, which probably will try and become the new top level competition belt. And I think the reason it will become that is because it's where the money is. If you own something, which he like Dotstrap, yeah, he bought that out of his personal pocket. But if he has, he puts the money into that and says, well, actually, I can basically give anyone who fights for the Ring magazine belt will have the cash. Anybody who fights for these other belts, there'll be sort of a feed in. He's really setting that scope to come. I really feel that, and I think you're going to see the only thing that they're going to buy now. I think that he should be interested in is a TV media company such as DAZN, which has really become the home of boxing, and as from April will be completely the home of boxing.
Yeah, right.
And whatnot. So I think that, I think it's going to be there. So Jack Scam says in 2025 has the potential to be the best year in boxing. February 22nd, AJ versus Fury, Inouye versus Bam, Frank versus Shaka, and of course on top of that, it may be down to Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford. Apparently that's been signed and it's rumoured for May.
Listen, if that fight happens, that's going to be a good fight. But
I think Canelo will destroy him. I think it's just too big.
I think Canelo is going to, or Bud's going to find out what top tier boxing's all about when you come up against the king.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. For all those who just joined us, thank you very much.
Don't get me wrong, don't bite me head off, lads, but I don't actually rate Terence Crawford. I'm not really actually been a fan of his. I don't really rate him that well. And him giving it the large beat up Spence. You beat up an old Spence who physically didn't look like he belonged in the fight.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, there's going to be some interesting fights coming this year. Inouye coming and fighting out Japan for the first time. That's going to be interesting because he's always fought in his home territory. It's a whole different kettle of fish. We are going to accept you coming and joining into the group, but please remain respectful and don't start muttering garbage. But yeah, so it's certainly interesting to see what's going to happen. Welcome, Sana Khan. Best fight for you last year and why? Okay, he's hiding behind a mute button. Yeah, so anyway, so let's just jump back. This Lee Oxley, thank you very much for your contribution. Says Daniel Dubois versus Joseph Parker for the IBF heavyweight title. I want to talk about that. Let me tell you something about that. I really don't see Dubois having an easy time of that. Really, really don't.
No, I don't think Joseph Parker is going to give Dubois an easy fight. He's going to push him to the absolute limit, I think. But I think Dubois' power. Everyone talks about the power of Dubois. They say his jab is like someone's full on whack. Can Parker take them? That's the question.
The man took him against a heavier handed fighter in Zhilei Zhang.
Yeah, but I don't think Zhang hit him properly. Yeah, I think he knocked him down once and then lost the fight. Didn't he, Zhang? I don't think he fully connected properly on Parker. But I think Dubois will. Dubois, you got to think, Dubois is younger, not as big, he's faster, and I'm not going to say stronger, but
he's not faster than he's not faster than.
I'm talking about Zhang.
Zhang.
He's faster and probably stronger than Zhang.
I don't think he's stronger. I really don't think he's stronger. I think what you've got. I think it's a potential banana skin for Dubois. I really do. Now, I would have said if I was Dubois, I wouldn't have been challenging that. I wouldn't have been challenging Joseph Parker I think the fight is all
Well,
wrong for
listen,
him.
if you want to succeed and be the best, you've got to start taking on the best. And if Parker's in his way and he's part of the best, you've got to take them people out.
Yeah, but he's not the best, is he?
Well,
He's certainly not. He's certainly not the best. According to the WBO, Fabio Wardley stands ahead of him.
yeah,
Something you pointed out this morning. And what I would say to you is, if I'm Daniel Dubois, I'd rather take on a Fabio Wardley than I would a Joseph Parker. Now, a fight that I think is really, really underrated, but I think is a cracking, and hopefully you guys will agree with me, is Joseph Parker versus Alexander Usyk. Now that is a better fight because both of them fight on the back foot really, really, really.
I think that'd be an absolutely boring fight.
No, yeah, but it depends on what you're looking for.
It's a game of chess. Who wants to move forward? Who don't? It's a boring fight. I'd actually fall asleep.
No.
I wouldn't actually pay to watch that fight.
What are you talking about, Willis?
I wouldn't pay to watch Usyk versus Parker. Two boring fights, that'd be.
No, I don't think it's to be a boring fight. What makes a good fight in your eyes? Is it a case of
a good slugfest where you're battering the life out of each other, like brutalised, blood, broken noses? You know, you're struggling to fight. You know, you just want to get in there. That is a scrap for me. Like you're fighting for your life.
Yeah, of course. But I'm just thinking from a boxing standpoint, from a boxing.
The Johnny Fisher, Dave Allen fight. Like, it wasn't the best technical, but you're fighting for your life, basically. You know, you don't want to go down, but you're still trying to swing your glove over.
I'll tell you what, that was a cracking fight, that Dave Allen.
They're the
Johnny
fights
Fisher.
I like seeing. I'm not none of this. Oh, there's a little jab here and there, another little jab. Oh, this can hold you for 30 seconds. Oh, let's step back and jab. Them fights are absolutely boring.
So why do you want Usyk then?
Because he weren't going to fight someone like him.
Well, that's all he does.
Yes, but I watched him because I knew he was going to beat Fury.
Yeah, because you hate British fighters.
No, I don't hate British fighters. I do actually like Fury, but I just don't like the way he is sometimes. I think, you know, a bit of the flashness don't suit you. Like when he says, yeah, I'll drink 20 pints and I'll take on 2 of you the same night.
So, Jack, welcome. So, best fight of 2024 for you. What is it and why?
Hello, fellas. Happy New Year and a Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year, mate.
I would say Bivol Turbiev as terms of skill, drama, AJ Dubois, and for my hate of Fury is Usyk beating Fury.
You're a Fury hater as well. So I just want to throw one fight in there in the mix as we're talking about heavyweights. Really want to throw this in there. What about Fabio Wardley, Fraser Clark 2? The destruction of Big Fraser Clark.
Yeah, that was done quickly.
That was one of the
Clark badly, didn't he?
Yeah, this jaw was it was very scary. This jaw. That was one of the
Clark badly, didn't he?
Yeah, this jaw was it was very scary. This jaw got underrated power in the heavyweight division.
Yeah, and he didn't do the normal route either, did he? Done the old white collar boxing first, wasn't it? And
yeah, well, you've seen how big he is as well.
yeah, I've stood next to him. I don't normally look up to people. and he's quite tall when he's broad and that. And you think, Jesus, he is actually a unit.
I like that. Dot Strap says that was actually GBH, not a fight.
Yeah, that was.
It was quality. It was quality. And I tell you, you've got some great fighters coming through. You have got big Fabio Wardley in there. You've also got Nick Ball going back to him, the miniature Mike Tyson. And now, we don't look up to a lot of people. Nick Ball is certainly not one of them because he's about 4'1".
Yeah, but he is a hell of a fighter.
Talent,
he is, Nick Ball. He's a talent, he is.
Absolute quality fight. And he's got one of those rugged grit and determination type fights, especially when, I think, is it not? I think
they actually called Nick Ball, didn't they? The mini Mike Tyson.
He is ferocious little fighter. A great little fighter he is.
Well, to be fair, you look at Frank Warren's stable. He's got Moses Toma, Fabio Wardley, Nick Ball, Daniel Dubois.
Yeah, Dennis McCann.
Tyson Fury still.
Yeah, Tyson Fury as well. Yeah.
Even though I know you hate him, guys. I know.
Yeah, listen, who do you think's got a better stable, Matchroom or Queensbury?
Queensbury, without even thinking about it.
You gotta say Queensbury. Yeah, you have to say Queensbury.
Queensbury.
Yeah. Lee Oxley, welcome. What was your best fight out of 2024 and why?
Oh, best fight out of the year. Fury, I would have said Fury Usyk.
Yeah, I think that's a good shout, but I think there's been so many. So of course that's looking in the past. Let's look
Or you
towards
can
the
say
future.
another shout. Kay Taylor and Serrano.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Really good.
I think all the Katie's fights, the last few fights she's had, they've been wars. Chantel and Amanda, absolute wars.
Yeah, hopefully we get the trilogy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but it does.
Yeah.
I think the trilogy. She needs a trilogy with both girls. She needs a trilogy with Amanda and a trilogy with Chantel.
Do you know one of the things?
Well, I think-
if I was training either Chantel Cameron or Amanda Serrano to fight that fight, the first thing I'd be teaching them is to fight on the back foot and put the uppercuts in there. Because Katie leads with her head. She can't help it. She just leads with her head, which is why these girls have got cut. And I would be teaching her to back on the back foot and pull the uppercut in there. She'll drop her. She really will. Amanda Serrano will drop Katie Taylor. And let's face it, the Chantel Cameron fight that was set up from Eddie Hearn was designed for one thing only, and that was to relieve Chantel of those belts. That was all it was done for.
Listen, I think she was sort of robbed in one of them fights.
Yeah, I think Serrano should have won the second.
Yeah.
But we seem to see a Matchroom. I hate to say it, and Eddie will probably won't confront me over it. But if I said it to his face, he would. I hate to say it. I think Matchroom have been extremely lucky with some of the judging this year. Extremely lucky. And going back just a few weeks ago, with the Dave Allen, Johnny Fisher undercard fight. I mean, I have never, and I want to go further than that. So we know Gareth A. Davis, and Gareth A. Davis had his arse pulled over the coals by Big John Fisher, so his dad essentially, saying he's never welcome round his house because he said the refereeing was abysmal.
Yeah,
You've got
to think of it from Big John's point of view, right? That ain't just some fighter in the ring, that's his son, right? So he's going to jump in head first and defend him, no matter what.
So what you're saying is by that because it's
I
his
don't
son,
agree with what he's done. I'm just saying there's a flip side to it. He ain't just a fighter, that's his son, so he's going to go in and run the guy off his head. But like we said before, what makes him any different to John Fury?
Nothing. What he's a lot more well behaved than John Fury. Let's put that out.
Yeah.
But the
And more
fact of the
likeable as
matter is,
well.
Johnny
He's more
Fisher.
likable, yes.
The fact of the matter is, Gareth A. Davis, and as Max calls him, the midget, Spencer Oliver, right, actually did not say that Johnny Fisher did anything wrong in that. It was not his decision. What they said is the award that he got the fight was actually a disgrace. The refereeing was a disgrace. And I totally stand side by side with our broadcasting colleagues. Let's put it that way. Because I don't believe that Johnny Fisher won that fight. And I don't believe he won it by about 4 rounds. Now, I don't know.
That's what they said he won it by, 4 rounds.
They reckon he won it by 2 rounds. I don't know what fight those judges were watching.
One of the rounds. I don't know how he survived that, but he did.
What was the scorecard? Was it 116, 112?
Something like that. I think it was, something like that. I thought it was a disgrace. I'm not saying that he was wrong not to defend his son, but they weren't actually attacking his son. They were saying the standard of refereeing is very questionable. And if Eddie Hearn stands in front of me and says, well, I think he won the fight, I'm going to say, really? You really honestly believe he won the fight? About as much as you really believe that AJ beat Dubois that night, don't you? I mean, that's the truth of it. Everyone who saw that fight, I'm yet to find someone who actually thought Johnny Fisher won.
Yeah, I don't know anyone who says he won. You know what I mean? I think that was a bit of a harsh decision from like Dave Allen's point of view. And like what Dave Allen said, I shouldn't be Johnny's next fight. I could end his career.
Yeah, but interestingly, Dot Strap, you're right. I called it after the fight that this is going to make Dave Allen life-changing cash now. It's going to make him life-changing because they're going to want to do that rematch. And it might mean that Dave Allen loses, but he's actually won. Do you know what I mean? And he was an absolute gentleman, absolute quality performer, Dave Allen. And I would have felt really aggrieved if that was me. And, you know, Dave Allen, to me, is one of the most unsung heroes who should have been a great, but stopped that little bit short of winning a title. And I think he had that opportunity taken away from him. Because if I was Johnny Fisher, I would have known going back into the back end that I lost that fight. And the state of Johnny Fisher's face said everything, and it was written all over his face how he actually won. So Eddie's had some really lucky decisions go his way this year.
Yeah, definitely. I'll tell you what, just reading Dot's comment, Ryan Garcia, Haney fight. That was a good fight.
That was a good fight. Yeah, I'll tell you what,
It was, and I remember what they were saying about what I think. Obviously, Oscar De La Hoya was having a complaint to Devin Haney following all these lawsuits. He says what you couldn't stand is that Garcia's left hand bouncing off your chin was just too quick. You couldn't block his right hand.
Listen,
Yeah.
I believe if they do meet again, it's going to be the same result.
Well, that's it. That's it. I think it is as well. But I think I don't know if there's been a bit more to this latest pull-out by Ryan Garcia.
Before the fight, it was like, yeah, you're overweight, you're going to have to pay $1.5 million. And Ryan went, all right, fine, I'll pay that. Devin shook his hand. Well, once the fight was finished, oh, you come in overweight, you was heavier than me, blah, 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 you was on this. But you took his money, though, didn't you? You shook his hand for it. So what's the complaining for? You either fight him and don't complain, or you don't fight him at all. You say, like, you ain't made weight, I ain't fighting you. See you later.
Guys, if you can just tap and make some hearts for us, that would be great. See if we can get it over 1,000. Yeah, so another thing, let's talk about this. Moses Atuma finished the fight in an epic battle that he just had with this guy. Can't remember, the name escapes me now. That's it, Dempsey McKean. And he destroyed a legitimate heavyweight. He just destroyed him. But he wants to be a future world champion ahead of Mike Tyson. Now, bear in mind, he's got to achieve that, I think, by mid-April. The only way of him actually achieving that now is for Usyk to say, I'm going to go back down to cruiserweight and vacate all the heavyweight belts.
Yeah.
Can you see that happening?
I can't see Usyk vacating these belts just yet. I think he could wait and have that one final fight with Daniel Dubois.
Or Joseph Parker.
Yeah. I'm not jumping the gun here, depending on what happens between them two. But I'm hoping that it's going to be Dubois and he redeems himself. Because I feel like he gave up last year. And that jab from Usyk didn't finish him off. I think he mentally got done and he just give up. That's how I see it when I was looking at it.
Which governing body is Moses Atoma higher? And is it WBO? IBO?
I'm not. You know what? I'm not really sure. I haven't had a look at the rankings, to be honest, since the fight, so I'm not really sure how they're ranking him. Yeah. I just think some of this stuff is also.
I'll tell you what, when they talk about Moses, when they first come on the scene, they go, "Yeah, you see this kid turn up in his school uniform, get undressed, and batter the life out of geezers in the ring. That's what sort of talent he had. Like being at school still." Turn up in his uniform, get undressed, beat everyone up, and go home.
Yeah, I think Lawrence and Coley said it on IFL ages ago. He said he was really young, came out of school with a blazer.
Yes, that's what I was going from.
Ring gear, and he beat Coley to a pummel.
Yeah, 14, 15 years old.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Having probably proper straighteners with like seasoned pros.
Yeah, it's bad. Right, okay, so. Let's have a little look. So I'm going to go over a couple of dot strategies. I think they're looking at fighting Pulev for the WBA regular, technically a world champion. It is, but it's not really what I consider a Mike Tyson beater. And Andy Cruz will be ranked number 1 WBA if he wins his next fight, and that'd be interesting versus Tank. Very interesting. Now,
let's
move on. Hang on one sec. Let's move on. I'm going to give you 3 options, everybody out there in boxing land. And I want your honest opinion. 2024 heavyweight knockout of the year. Okay, so I'm going to read you the 3 contenders. and I want the best from each of you and everybody listening as well. The first one, Anthony Joshua versus Francis Ngannou. We know that it was stopped emphatically. The second one, Daniel Dubois versus Anthony Joshua. Or the third one, Zhilei Zhang versus Deontay Wilder. What one is knockout of the year for you? We'll start with Jack.
All right, then.
In terms of knockout, Joshua Ngannou. The way Ngannou folded like a deck chair was crazy.
Yeah, but listen, he got knocked the fuck out, yes. But he had a boxer. He stood with his hands wide apart, basically said...
It's knockout. It's just in terms of what the knockout is, I say Ngannou.
Yeah. Listen, that he literally took one step, went crack, and he folded. That was probably the brutalest knockout of that year.
Yeah, best knockout.
And then
it's crazy to think that AJ's on twice, win and loss.
Yeah, definitely. He gets the knockout of the year, and he also gets the being knocked out of the year.
Yeah, I think that for me it gets that. Dot Strap's most impressive for me has got to be the AJ versus Ngannou. Just took his soul in that. It was like you could see his soul leave his body as he, folded up. I tell you, he collapsed in a heap, just like one of those bloody washing lines does. The Hexy one.
Well, look, if we're carrying on about heavyweights, right? AJ Fury, if it happens this year, I'm gonna go AJ knockout of Fury.
Oh, dude. Oh, you support a British fighter then? And that's only because two are British.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Joshua beats Fury as well.
Do you think Josh beats Fury?
Yeah, I do.
That's an interesting one. I like them both the same, really. But I just think Fury's too good for him. I think the problem is when you've got someone like Usyk. Usyk is a phenomenon. Nobody has managed to do that, and it would be interesting to see. But I think Fury has the edge over Joshua, and the reason is because Joshua's arsehole's fallen out. Joshua's frightened to throw punches. He is not the same fighter, and that would be what I would base my assumptions on. Is purely because the way he demolished Ngannou was incredible. However, you're fighting a fighter that uses his hands only 20% of the time.
He wasn't afraid to throw punches with Dubois.
Yeah, he did. Well,
I just think his accuracy's too off. I mean,
before he got knocked out, he was throwing punches.
Yeah,
and
combinations.
But were they meaningful?
I think they were.
Dwight says Max is just a Fury hater. I got your card already. Yeah, he was. I think Dot Strap's right as well. Fury put on all the weight and didn't use it. He was gun shy as well for the first time.
Yeah, well,
I'll just say this: if Joshua lands clean on Fury's chin,
yeah, he's gone. He's gone. It's good night.
If Fury and Ngannou can hurt, Usyk and Ngannou can hurt Fury, I think Joshua can hurt Fury as well.
Yeah, yeah, I'll totally agree with you, Jack, and I'll stand by it now. And I believe Fury, AJ beats Fury. I'm not saying it'd be an easy fight for him, but I'd say
Dwight's on my side. Dwight says, Fury, I'm sorry, but Fury beats AJ.
Yeah, listen, the fight will be over within inside 7 rounds. He would never go the distance, never.
But that is the fight, because this whole country was shut down to watch that fight.
Yeah,
absolutely. Dwight's going to join us in the room.
Do you believe?
Max, I've seen all your comments and all the boxing posts. You're just a Fury hater. Fury will always be beat by everyone. You have a look. I've seen everything. You just hate Fury. You are another true Geordie.
No way. I like Fury. I like him as a person, right? But when you start giving it, I can drink 20 pints, take on 2 boxers in the same night. No, you can't. Stop talking bollocks.
Yeah, well, you could, depending on the level of the boxers.
Yeah, but he's talking about AJ and Usyk at the time.
Oh no, that's not going to happen. But I do know one thing. I know Fury's got too much up there. He's got too much arsenal for AJ. Definitely.
I'm pretty sure Fury said that if he loses to Usyk, he will retire.
I don't think he will.
Yeah, do you know what the thing is? Because I think, speaking to Usyk before as well, He doesn't like the heavyweight game. He was saying that he wants to come down. He finds it hard to make heavyweight.
Yeah, it's finding it hard to eat all that food.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's what he said. He's finding it actually hard to make the heavyweights. It really is. I mean, he's not a knockout. He's not a devastating knockout puncher. And some of these young heavyweights that are coming up right now are evil. You know, Fabio Wardley, Moses Atuma. You can even put Dave Allen in there. You know, he didn't even deal with Derek Chisora very well. If you put a tank in front of someone like Usyk, you know, he can move. Of course he can. But he's not able to get rid of these heavyweights.
In the dark and the shadows is Andy Ruiz.
Yeah, that could be a real banana skin for someone like Usyk. And I think he knows that, you know, deep down. If he's finding it hard to make heavyweights, I mean, you can just bang shots off of, Andrew Ruiz's chin and the guy don't go nowhere. You know, he doesn't go nowhere. His partying lifestyle, though, may be the undoing of him.
Yeah, well, I think with Andy, like, obviously, he beat AJ, which was a shocker. Like, no, that wasn't on the cards and that. He beat him, and he's got all this millions, partying, sex, drugs, rock and roll. Didn't take that second fight seriously, but AJ did and taught him a lesson.
Yeah, he still didn't stop him, though.
Do you think Andy Ruiz took the rematch seriously? Do you think AJ still won the rematch?
I think if he would have took it seriously and like lost the weight what he has done now, I think he'd beat AJ again. But I don't. He didn't take that fight
100%.
seriously.
AJ, listen, I know it's going to upset one or two. AJ, for me, is just a devastating puncher. He's not a boxer. I just don't think he's got nothing else besides that right hand, to be honest.
So there's two types of fighter in this world, right? There's a fighter themselves, which is what AJ is, and there's a boxer, which is what Usyk is. So often a fighter who tries to box a boxer will never ever win, and you've seen examples of that with Usyk. AJ just can't handle them. But also AJ,
he had Usyk hurt. And then all of a
but
sudden
so did
stopped.
Fury.
I know. Why are these boxers stopping? They're hurting him in the body, and they stop all of a sudden and go.
I feel like Fury. I feel like Fury had AJ hurt. Fury had Usyk hurt. But I feel like in the second fight he was too scared just to put the foot on the accelerator because he knew he could get caught.
I totally think that was probably
hurted Usyk more in the first fight than the second fight.
I do.
Yeah, but he didn't get hurt. But also Fury did not get hurt in the second fight. Do you think it was more of a Fury was more nervous about getting hurt again than he was about having a big offense?
Well, I said to you before, like with Fury, you don't know what one you get him when he turns up, and he's obviously thinking, well, we lost once to this little rabbit. Am I going to lose again? Like I said to you before, what's got more pressure? Fury to win the rematch or Usyk to win? Make it 2-0. You know, and I felt the pressure was more on Fury.
Do you know what one of the things is as well is I think if I, you know, what did Fury need to do more to win that fight? And the answer for me is easy. Use your jab. It was just throwing him off balance.
What was happening?
Yeah, the first couple of rounds he did really well, that jab, Fury was.
Yeah, but what was happening, he was jabbing him, and then a little tiny little combo, then grabbing hold of him straight away. But that's what he kept doing.
Yeah, but he was overweight. He was heavy. So once the fight was progressing, he was getting more and more tired.
Yeah.
I thought the weight done him no favours, to be honest.
No, it didn't.
I thought Fury looked better in the first fight than the second fight.
Yeah,
I do. I agree with that, to be fair.
I think if he'd have worked on putting his jab out there a heck of a lot more, I think it could have been a different story, an absolute different story. So anyway, that leads me on to this next question, right? Serious question, guys. Which fighter has the best shot at beating Alexander Usyk? Just one fighter. One fighter. Dwight, go first. Who do you think beats Usyk, Dwight?
Sorry, I got a phone call there. Artem Beterbiev.
I agree. Yeah, I agree too.
You're at Beterbiev. Beterbiev's a light heavyweight.
Yeah, but I see it happening. I can see undisputed versus undisputed. I can see Beterbiev going to cruiserweight and Usyk coming down to cruiserweight.
Yeah, for the fight. Yeah, there's the catch weight in between.
But in the heavyweight, I think Daniel Dubois got a shot. I really do. I feel like Daniel Dubois. I don't think Dubois got heart or bottle or anything, but I just think he's got power, and I don't think Usyk likes him to the body. And I don't think that was a low blow in the first fight.
No, I don't. I think that
I
Daniel
don't
Dubois is
know.
a different fighter from the first fight. He's a bit thicker set than he was in the first fight. So, Jack, Usyk, who's the man to beat him?
Obviously, Vitali as well.
Okay.
Or I think Jai Opataya might give Usyk a good fight. I think Usyk wins, but I think Opataya.
Big fight. Jai Opataya.
That man's got a heart of stone.
Yeah,
Jack. When we were talking to him when he faces Jordan Thompson, that was unbelievable. That was, and he's not scared of the height difference either because he's 6'7", Jordan Thompson. Max,
He has no
who
emotion.
for you? Max, who for you is the guy to beat Usyk?
I'll tell you what. If they was in the same way, I'd like to say, I'd go with Jai Opataya.
Joe Jai.
Yeah.
It's interesting because there's some good fights for him down at cruiserweight and whatnot. I think it could be, but I would still have this hunch that Joseph Parker would probably have what it takes to beat Usyk.
Oh no!
I know some people saying he'll figure him out, and he probably will, but I don't know. It's something inside me that says, kind of thinking that's the way to go. Anyway, guys, let's move on. There's been a fight that's been potentially announced that's going to make a couple of guys $250 million each. Logan Paul versus apparently Conor McGregor. And fight fans of that Logan Paul put out as a fight has actually backfired and backed Conor McGregor for the fight.
Oi, have you heard the bonus for the winner?
Yeah, but I don't know if that's true.
Well, they reckon 250 million per bloke and $1 billion for the winner.
Yeah, but this is Logan Paul, not Jake Paul.
Yeah. No, this is what they said. It's been held in India, and it's $1 billion for the winner, including the 250 million that they'll be getting anyway.
So, what do we think on that?
Listen, that's 1.5 billion for a fight in India.
Like 250 million against Conor McGregor.
What's that?
I will fight Conor McGregor for 250.
I'm fighting for 2.5. I wouldn't last 5 seconds.
Listen,
but
my first week in January, I'd fight Conor McGregor for 250 quid. The way I am at the moment.
It seems to me to be an absolute insane amount of money for one person who's just been sort of convicted, not in a criminal court, of course, for rape, and the other one who's a joke. I don't know. It's just, I mean, if that was Jake Paul standing there, I think Jake beats Logan every day of the week and twice on Sundays and would have a much better chance, but I don't see how Logan Paul going to play.
I don't see Logan Paul winning a round against McGregor. When McGregor fought Mayweather, he actually looked like he could half box a little. Do you know what I mean? He looked tidy.
Yeah, but do you read Logan Paul when he went, I went 8 rounds with the best pound for pound. I held him up half the time. I hit him so hard I had to hold him up. I was like, are you talking about the same fight? Because I'm clearly see you asking Mayweather, don't hit me that hard, it's only an exhibition.
Do you know, there's been some funny stuff come out about that, and I just think that for me it's got to be on nothing more than misfits, surely. But I'm sitting here looking, and I'm seeing some of the reports that we get through, and a new report has come through. I'm still wanting the team, Max, to find out where it come from. But Ngannou believes he was done the dirty in the AJ fight.
Yeah,
now, I know Ngannou's trainer, Dewey Cooper. Dewey never would have said to me that. How the hell was the guy done dirty?
I have no idea.
How did you think he was done dirty then? How?
He said they got him there well early, and he was waiting around for like 4 hours for his fight, and then by the time he had the fight, he was tired and that, and so I don't know. But if you look at him,
I think Ngannou.
he didn't look right. He just stood there with his arms wide apart and went, "Hit me, please," and he did. He got absolutely battered.
Do I know something? I actually think Ngannou was overconfident when he went into that fight. I think because he dropped Fury, I think he went into that fight overconfident, thinking, "Oh look, I think he fought." I think Ngannou thought Fury was the better man. If he could drop Fury, then he could walk through AJ.
Yeah,
he probably thought that. Yeah.
But with the Fury fight, I don't believe one bit Fury even done any training.
I don't think he's done a week's training for that fight. I don't think he's done a week's training.
AJ, he took that serious. He did. You know what
But
I
to
mean?
be fair, though, you would take it serious after watching your rival get dropped by a UFC guy. You would take it serious then, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Like I actually remember watching the fight and thinking this guy can actually put his hands up Ngannou, and he actually can to a certain degree. I really do think he should leave the MMA shit and just start boxing.
Well, he'll make more money.
I don't think he's useless.
I just think.
I
I
definitely
just
don't
think
think-
he didn't pay his dues. And when I talk about pay his dues, when it comes to boxing, you know, you have to go through certain levels. He just went straight to the top and got ironed out. That's what he did. Fury probably looked at that fight and thought, "Do you know what? I ain't even bothering to train. I'm just going to, take this guy to pieces," and underestimated him, and was lucky to get away with the win. And then, of course, that caused a negative or a false positive, shall we say, from from Ngannou going, "Well, if I can take everything Fury's got to throw at me, he's the best in the division, then I'm gonna steam for AJ," just like you said, and then went and got himself ironed out in a couple of rounds. And he didn't just get ironed out mildly; it was folded worse than a deck chair on Southend Seafront on 2 for 1 day.
That was a brilliant knockout.
It was incredible. It was incredible. Anyway, so we'll move on, guys, because it's really good, and I'm quite sort of looking forward to your answers on this next one. So Eddie Hearn confirms AJ's 2025 comeback. He's eyeing Fury and Dubois fights. Now, is this Eddie Hearn writing checks that Anthony Joshua's body just won't be able to cash, or do you think he stands a chance in either one of those? I know we covered, obviously, the Gypsy King, but what do you think on that?
I don't see him doing any good at all against Dubois. I think that I'm a massive Fury fan. I'm a massive, massive Fury fan, die-hard Fury fan from being little. But I think if he was going to beat one of them, it would be Fury. I don't think he beats AJ. I don't think he beats Dubois, sorry.
And there's the old
I
cliche.
think we've said it before.
Styles makes fights, isn't it?
What's that,
No,
sorry?
I think Styles makes fight.
Styles makes fights, and I think Joshua's style would be better against Fury than Dubois.
Yeah, I think the only chance though he has got of beating Fury is if a few knockdowns or a knockout, because he doesn't outbox him.
So technically, Fury is the better boxer. Right. But
I think he's all around the better boxer. My personal opinion, I think Fury stops him. I don't think Fury stops him by power wise. I think Fury just softens him up in the first 6 rounds, softens him up, and I think he just wears AJ down and stops him.
Yeah.
I don't. I think when AJ doesn't go his own road in the first 5 or 6 rounds, I think he goes to pieces.
So my question then, knowing that obviously, if you were advising Anthony Joshua who his next fight should be, because clearly this is a money fight for him. This is end of career. You've made your money, son. You've made your mark. You've won nearly everything other than the WBC. Where would you be advising him to go?
I'd like to see him fight Dillian White.
I would do Dylan White, Wilder, then do the Fury 2 fights with Fury, then go for Dubois. That's what I would do.
If he comes through successfully.
Yes.
You know what? I think that if I was him, and I would be saying that, I think that's probably a good way to go. Because I think that's the last 4, and I don't think that AJ should fight into 2026. And I think if you have 4 fights this year, all right, maybe 3 and 1 early next year, I think that you've probably got a decent shout of calling that time on his career and nicking another 100 million quid from all of that.
do you think it is a £200 million fight? Fury, AJ, what Eddie Hearn claims to be.
I think it's still the biggest fight in boxing. We're both
I don't
lose.
think it's the biggest fight in boxing. It's definitely the biggest fight in British boxing, very close to Conor versus Junior. I think you've got that's a big fight as well. But I just think, for me, I can't see it doing 200 million now, because you've got to look at global sales and whatnot. I can see Turkey Al Sheikh putting the money in to make it 200 million. Let's put it that way.
Right, do you think it's going to beat the attendance of AJ Dubois? Was it 98,000?
Oh yeah.
This has 100,000 plus.
Yeah,
this
definitely.
fight.
Definitely.
You think they're going to have to get like the Ovo Reno involved as well? That's next door to it.
Well, we were talking about this before, where you can show now video screens of like a virtual ring, and you can actually see it as if you're there. So they were talking about having that as it was screened through live, and that would be a fantastic thing to do if you could do that. But I don't know. I really, really don't know.
Because yeah, when that fight happens, fight week is going to be crazy when that happens.
Yeah.
How you doing, host? How you doing, Jack? How you doing, Max? How you doing, Dwight? How's everything going, guys?
Not
How's
bad,
it going,
mate.
mate?
Not
Pal, you all right? Sweet. I was gonna just say to everyone, we should. Health is the real wealth in this world. Yes,
bad,
Mhm.
mate.
we all
Yeah.
agree.
Yes.
Preach.
All right, we're gonna start telling the host from today. It's 2025. We're gonna sign up to the gym, every one of us, and we're gonna get fit. We're gonna get 8 packs. We're gonna look hench.
Would be that's probably about 25 years ago. I looked like that. Not quite today. Not quite today.
But host, you can do it again, bro.
Oh, do you know what? I mean, we were starting to film a series when I was training in the gym,
Yeah.
and Max was on the back end of it, and it did not end too well. I thought they were trying to kill me at first. You know, I go, right, what are you going to do? Is you're going to do a 5K? I was like, what? I was like, I haven't done 5K since Prime Minister Tony Blair was in Parliament. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was a long time.
It was just a number.
Well, I
I
tried to do a 5K, but I ended up doing 3K, and I was like, I'm done. This is enough.
Well, at least you've done 3.
did the 5. I did the 5, but the caveat was it was on the bike, right?
Oh, okay.
So that was a bit of a get-out clause. So do you know what they did to me the following week?
Go on,
What
bro.
did he do to me, Max? Tell him what he did. Tell him what Will did.
Oh, he upped it. Then he had to do
Yeah, 10, bastard.
It's good to have friends like that, man. It's good to have
mate.
friends like that.
It is. We had a good time. So we're going to do a lot more filming this year. It's just certainly helpful for wealth, and that's something I'll talk
That's
to Max
it.
about.
2025, guys. Just get in this, show that you can transform yourself to. Even me, my bro, yeah, I've got a bit of a little belly, and a bit of a man, and it's like we need to lose it. We need to get rid of it and look our best.
Go on,
That's right. It is.
Yeah,
I'm feeling
it
more
is.
confident this year. I don't know
That's
why.
good, Max.
I'm feeling it.
Come on, Max. Come on. We could all do it, man. Listen, we'll talk in 6 months, guys. Yeah, I'll see you then, yeah? We'll see where we've gone, yeah?
Yes.
Yo, look after yourself, guys. Yeah, have a good day.
You too, buddy.
Can't believe Fury lost. Can't believe it. Robbery. Absolute robbery.
Oh, it's on back again, the Fury lover. How you doing,
Oh,
mate?
Fury fanboy.
Fury's gonna knock Anthony Joshua out cold.
You think?
I'm a massive Fury fan, right? And on the night of the fight, I scored it a lot differently when I was
KSI won against Tommy Fury though. KSI won against Tommy Fury. That was a robbery.
Hang on, John. We're moving from case to case. Let's stick to one at a time, so we can find out the reasonings for that. So you believe in the fight between Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury 2 that Fury won that fight, and
Yeah,
Dwight, you were saying you scored
100%.
it.
Well, the night of watching it, I don't get me wrong, I had a few beers and I was with my mates. I had Fury winning, right? And I'm a massive Fury fan. But when I rewatched it, I think it was the right decision, but the scorecard was disgusting. I think the scorecard 116 to 112 was disgusting. I don't think I really could have won. I think a different set of judges would have given it to Fury. I think it depends on which certain judges like certain things. Some judges like the eye-catching shots, where some judges like the clean shots. I think some judges would have given it to Tyson. I really do think. Listen, I think the right man won, but I think the scorecard was absolutely disgusting. I don't think Usyk was winning. He couldn't have been in front no more than 2 rounds.
Yeah, well, I put it down as Usyk was up by 2 rounds.
Well, that's it. I think 2 rounds would have been fair. 2 rounds would have been fair. I going into the 10th round, I had Tyson winning, and then when I rewatched it sober, and then when I rewatched it sober, and then in the 11th and 12th round, I think Usyk just nicked him, and I think that's why Usyk won. Well, I think if it had ended on the 10th round, obviously it doesn't, but if it did, then I think Tyson would have won. It was close. I think it was razor thin. It was close. And
It was similar to the first fight, as close as that was.
It's actually very annoying that when boxers at that high of a level get a loss, people write them off. Where we all know Fury's just boxed the pound for pound number 1, right, in the world, and had 2 good competitive fights with him, and you can't argue that either fight was close. So I think people that's writing Fury off saying he's finished it. They don't understand boxing. He just fought the best in the world.
Do you
on
think
two
then
fights.
guys, do you think that that's a big problem in boxing? In MMA, they
Massive.
can move 5, 6, 7 fights, but the minute a fighter loses in boxing, their career's finished. What do you
Yeah, I
think?
know, because you could be like on a 3-fight losing streak in UFC and you're still on the best, and they don't like criticize you. They say they'll go again, all that stuff.
In boxing, it is the number one most thing that annoys me more than anything is where a man such as Fury can have two. Nobody can lie. Nobody can say there wasn't good fights, right? Two excellent fights with the best and lose. And listen, there's no shame in it. He lost to the best man in the world. So if Fury can't go and wipe the flow of the rest of the heavyweights, I just don't see how you can say, man, that's finished.
Yeah, I don't see how they're finished. I think they're only finished when they really want to. You know, when they literally can't do it.
At this then, lads. Right, this say, right, Usyk thought, nah, I ain't fighting Dubois. I'm giving up the belts. I'm going to retire. And then AJ Fury fight. Do them two just go for it, hammer and tong, and fight for the belts, or do you think they're going to retire after that fight? I'm not even bother going for the belts again.
Well, I've seen, have you seen the Joshua's in Nigeria at the moment?
Yes.
He did the interview, and it says his goals for this year is to fight Fury and become a 3-time world champion again.
Well, he's got to fight someone with a belt first, hasn't he?
But he's got the rematch clause that he can action on Dubois, and do you think that that's what Dubois could probably be waiting for?
Has he still got that rematch clause? Will that not finish now that he's boxing Parker? Does that not go out the window? Or?
No, he's still got that. I mean, the thing is, would he want to box? Would he want to box Dubois if he loses? So, and obviously, I think
but what
isn't Parker part of Matchroom?
What about if Dubois sparks Parker out, in like say in two rounds? Is AJ gonna want to smoke with Dubois?
Well,
I think where AJ's head will be, I think he'll try and get the Fury fight without the belts. Obviously, because Usyk's the champion anyway, I think he'll just fight Fury as it is. And I think if he does no good, I think he'll just activate his rematch clause straight away with Dubois and just call it a day.
Yeah, and earn a shitload of money in the process.
Yeah.
Guys, even the great Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson both lost 5 fights.
Yeah,
exactly.
In their professional careers, so it wouldn't be leaving. I don't believe with any sort of disgrace to his name.
No,
look at Usyk.
No.
I mean, look at Usyk's history. He's lost 15 fights. If you go right back to his amateur days, so you can't knock someone if they've got a loss on their records.
And this is what I hate about boxing today. I hate how you can have a loss and that's you finish, you're over, you're done. And I think the hate boxers get and their own fans turn on them because they've had a loss. I think it's absolutely ridiculous.
Definitely. So, guys, here's the next question coming up. Eddie Hearn has said he's beaten the best, and he is an all-time great in terms of Alexander Usyk. How high is he in the all-time great list, Max?
Well, Usyk.
Yeah.
Oh, he's top of the pile, I'd say.
Better than Ali, better than Tyson?
In different ways, I'd say. I can't say about Ali because I wasn't around when he was like in his heyday, but I'd say he's up there, he's top of the tree, definitely. If you look at his amateur record, like 385 fights.
Jack, what do you think?
Done well.
Are you talking all-time in all weight classes or just heavyweight?
Let's say just heavyweight.
Probably top 10 or just outside top 10.
Okay, that's interesting. Who do you have as a top sort of, let's say top 3?
Top of my head, Ali, Lewis,
Yeah.
Foreman.
Okay. Interesting. Interesting. So
I'm trying to think of all the heavyweights I can think of that are better than Usyk all time.
Holyfield?
I think
Yeah,
he beat
yeah.
Holyfield.
So the reason I asked, and of course, Dwight, how do you see that? Do you believe that's right? It's an all-time great?
He's in my top 3.
Okay, who's your top three?
Muhammad Ali, George Foreman, and Usyk.
Okay, where does Mike Tyson fit for you in that?
Number 5.
Number 5. Okay.
Number 4 is
It's
Tyson
interesting to see. Now, when I sit there and look at boxing ability, do you believe that in boxing ability, this is just on its own, do you actually believe that Muhammad Ali is better than Usyk in boxing ability?
No.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because obviously, my personal opinion is I don't think you can say he's an all-time great until he hangs up the gloves. Because you don't know what's going to happen, between now and then. He might take the next 5 fights and get ironed out in all 5.
Yeah.
And then, of course, his standards then, his ability then begins to drop. So I think it's very difficult.
What he's actually achieved, though, Usyk, he's achieved greatness. Unified one division, then unified another one.
No, he's achieved a gold medal at Olympics. He's become undisputed at cruiserweight and undisputed at heavyweight.
Won the Super Series as well.
And he did win the Muhammad Ali Super Series. There's a lot.
What you've just said there about you don't know what he's going to do in the future. See, I've got a serious issue with that because I think you can't discredit somebody for what they've achieved, for what they've gone on to do. See, if somebody's achieved that, you can't discredit that because then 5 times catched up with them and they've had a few losses. And that there, I think, when you get to a certain level of achievement, I think you should just be recognised for that certain level.
Yeah.
Like,
going back to Muhammad Ali,
when you go back to one of the most unsung overachievers or unsung achievers in Larry Holmes, who has just basically had that done to him, and people are saying Mike Tyson's better than him, but he didn't achieve it. He was.
Sorry, guys, I've got to jump off, but I'll try and get back on.
That pleasure's
All right, see you, mate.
See you later, boys. Bye bye.
Oh, mate.
And that's where it comes into it. If he was to hang the gloves up today, for me, he's the all-time great heavyweight. He's totally redefined everything. Because not only has he done this and he's won all of those accolades, he went to fight on the front line for his country whilst being world undisputed heavyweight champion.
Right, I just want to say something. Right? We're talking about greatness and that. Does Muhammad Ali fall into the greatness of what he was because of his boxing ability, or was it because of what he'd done outside of boxing?
It was outside of boxing.
Bit of both.
Yeah. I don't think... I think the fact that Muhammad Ali went on too long and shouldn't have done, realistically, I mean, he used to scream he was the greatest, and of course everybody sings his praises. But the reason is that Muhammad Ali was beyond his time. He really was. He was in a heavyweight. He was bringing a new style of heavyweight fighting that the world had never seen, and had that attitude and aura about him that nobody had ever seen. Whereas up until then, most people had been, happy and go lucky. Do you know what I mean? They'd been good fighters, but it was, it was one of them for me. But I think that it certainly did, opened up a world of, discussion, if you like, with that.
Yeah, because you don't hear anyone bad mouthing Muhammad Ali, though, do you?
Oh, there has been over the years. There's been a lot over the years.
Not such the young uns. They just got all nothing but praise for him.
Yeah, of course. And I think there's every man who pulls on a set of gloves and goes inside that squared circle deserves respect, no matter how you far and how far you've come.
I'll tell you what. All we've got to do is thank the young kid who nicked Muhammad Ali's bike, because if we weren't for his bike, he would never got into boxing. Oh, that's the story. His bike got nicked. The policeman see him crying or something, and he told him what happened. He went, "Well, come to the gym," basically, and that's how he got into the gym.
Crazy.
An heavyweight champion.
Well, anyway, I'm going to end now because it's coming to the end of the night. I do thank you all for contributing. I'm going to end on this. Usyk's brutal response when asked about Dubois' punching power, he said, "Only in my balls." So that's going to be the interesting one. Thank you very much, Jack. Obviously, tonight, Lee as well. Thank you very much. Have yourselves a great evening, guys, and we'll catch you.
I'll catch you all later. Thanks for joining in, Jack.
Yes.
See you later.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.